Darkness. The year is 1095. Europe is a land scarred by famine, war, and fear. In villages of thatched roofs and stone churches, peasants toil from dawn until dusk, burdened by lords and kings. Disease stalks the narrow streets. Yet in the distance, church bells echo, calling not only to prayer, but to power. This is a world where faith is absolute. A crucifix hangs in every hall, a relic rests in every shrine. Heaven and hell feel close, as if one could touch them with a trembling hand. And yet, beneath the chants of monks and the sermons of priests, lies something far more human: ambition, greed, the desire to rule both body and soul. Far away, beyond the Mediterranean, another world rises. The lands of Islam, Damascus, Cairo, Baghdad, flourish with scholars, trade, and the hum of great cities. Markets overflow with silks and spices. Libraries guard the wisdom of Greece and Rome, and the call to prayer drifts across the desert wind. Islam, too, is faith and power entwined, and between them lies a city, Jerusalem. Jerusalem. The name alone trembles with meaning. To Christians, it is where Christ suffered and rose again. To Muslims, it is where the prophet ascended to heaven. To Jews, it is the eternal city of David. Every stone, every alley, every shrine is sacred. Yet this sacredness also makes it fragile, for whoever holds Jerusalem claims not just land, but the very keys to salvation. But in Europe, the story begins not in Jerusalem, but in a council hall in Clermont, France. There, Pope Urban II raises his voice to the crowd. Reports have reached him of Christians in the East suffering under Muslim rule, of pilgrims robbed and desecrated, of holy places defiled. Whether exaggerated or true, the message is clear. Christendom must act. Urban speaks of God's will. He speaks of liberating Jerusalem, of saving the Eastern Brethren, of penance through battle. Deus vult, the crowd cries. God wills it. But hidden beneath this cry is another force, Europe's restless knights, eager for land and glory, younger sons of nobles with no inheritance, and peasants who see in pilgrimage not just faith, but escape. This is the paradox of the Crusade. At its heart, it is proclaimed as holy, a war for God, for salvation. Yet it gathers under its banner those driven by hunger, by violence, by dreams of plunder and power. Faith and ambition march side by side, indistinguishable, inseparable. The medieval world is about to change. When the Crusaders march, they will cross mountains and seas, clash with empires, and carve kingdoms into lands they call holy. But behind every battle cry lies a deeper question. Was this truly God's war, or merely the oldest story of humanity? Power disguised as piety, the stage is set, the march has begun, and Jerusalem waits. The march begins. Tens of thousands set out from the heart of Europe, following the sign of the cross. Some wear armor of iron, others only rags. Whole families walk barefoot, children clutching wooden crosses, women carrying what little food they have. What unites them is not wealth, but a promise that to die on this road is to enter heaven. But the journey is no holy pilgrimage of peace. Hunger gnaws at them. The road through Anatolia is harsh. Deserts by day, freezing winds by night. Bands of peasants, calling themselves Crusaders, plunder villages for food. Byzantine allies grow wary, watching these so-called holy warriors behave more like marauders than pilgrims. Knights fall ill. Horses die. The dream of Jerusalem begins to look like a death march, and yet they continue. In 1097, the Crusaders reach Antioch, one of Christianity's oldest cities. What follows is not liberation, but siege. For months they starve outside its walls, gnawing on leather, boiling weeds for soup. Chronicles speak of cannibalism, of corpses dug up and eaten. Faith becomes desperation. Desperation becomes madness, but Antioch falls. The gates open. The Crusaders pour inside. Blood runs in the streets. Muslim and Christian alike are cut down. The city burns, and the cross is raised above its towers. To the chroniclers, this is victory. To the survivors, it is massacre. Yet Antioch is not the end. Ahead lies Jerusalem, the heart of the crusade, the city of salvation. In 1099, the weary army, now reduced to a fraction of its size, finally sees its walls. Pilgrims drop to their knees in tears. Knights lift their swords toward heaven. Jerusalem stands before them, but Jerusalem does not yield. The city is defended by the Fatimid garrison. Its walls are strong, its defenders resolute. For weeks, the Crusaders encircle it, building siege towers, battering rams and ladders. The summer sun burns. Thirst torments them. Some drink from wells fouled with blood. Still they pray. Still they fight. On July 15th, 1099, the walls are breached. Crusaders storm into Jerusalem. What follows is one of the most infamous slaughters of the medieval age. Chronicler Raymond of Aguilers wrote, "In the temple and in Solomon's portico, men rode in blood up to their knees and bridle reins. Muslims, Jews, even Eastern Christians, none are spared. The sacred streets run red. Survivors are dragged into captivity or burned alive in their homes. The holiest city on earth becomes a grave." And then, silence. The Crusaders kneel before the Holy Sepulchre, their armor stained with the blood of the city they call liberated. For them, this is God's will fulfilled. For others, it is proof of humanity's cruelty, faith twisted into fury, prayer into slaughter. Jerusalem has been taken. A Christian kingdom is born in blood. But even in victory, questions linger. Were these men truly servants of God, or merely conquerors cloaked in piety? Did Jerusalem fall to holy zeal, or to the oldest hunger of mankind, the hunger for land and power? The First Crusade, hailed by its chroniclers as a miracle, leaves behind a wound that would never fully heal. Jerusalem has fallen. The Crusaders call it a triumph, a victory ordained by God. But for those who survived, it was a nightmare carved into stone. The once sacred streets are silent now, broken only by the cries of the displaced. Synagogues lie in ashes, mosques turned to stables, families torn apart, a holy city desecrated in the name of holiness. From this victory, the Kingdom of Jerusalem is born. Castles rise along trade routes, lords divide the conquered land. A Christian crown is set upon foreign soil, but it is not peace, only a pause. For the Islamic world, the loss of Jerusalem is a wound too deep to ignore. From Damascus to Cairo, voices rise, calling not for surrender, but for vengeance. The crusade, once imagined as a single holy journey, has become something far larger, a cycle of war that will stretch across centuries. The Second Crusade, the Third, the Fourth, each fueled by the same words, the same promises, each leaving behind ruins, ashes, and graves. But behind the banners and battles, the legacy is more complicated. The Crusades brought cultures into violent collision, but also into contact. In their wake, ideas, goods, and knowledge crossed borders. Greek philosophy preserved in Arabic manuscripts, spices and medicines carried along trade routes, architecture and art blending east with west. Out of blood came an exchange, fragile, unplanned, and bitterly ironic. And yet, the darker legacy endures. The Crusades entrenched suspicion between faiths. To Christians, they were holy wars. To Muslims, invasions by barbaric foreigners. To Jews, centuries of persecution wrapped in the language of Christ. Each community preserved its own memory, and each memory carried wounds that would not heal. Even today, echoes of the Crusades linger. Politicians invoke them, historians debate them, extremists misuse them. Crusade remains a word heavy with fire, a symbol of faith and of fanaticism, of salvation and of slaughter. So what was it, truly? A war for God, or for power, for faith, or for ambition? The Chronicles tell us one version, the survivors another. The truth lies somewhere in between. in the uneasy space where belief and desire meet. In the end, the First Crusade is not just a medieval story. It is a mirror. It reflects the human capacity to believe, to fight, to destroy, and to justify it all in the name of something greater. It asks us, across the centuries, how often do we confuse faith with fury? How often do we let sacred words become the mask for human hunger? Jerusalem still stands. Its stones have seen crusaders, conquerors, pilgrims, and prophets, and they will see more. But the question endures, unanswered. When the Crusaders marched, was it truly God's war or only human ambition?